Now, would you like to tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself, please?
What would you like to know? Doug Ferguson, Associated Press, golf writer for the last 20 years. Big fan of Maureen Medill. Love Scotland. Love Royal Troon. Don't like the media centre at Oakmont. What else do you need?
Well, I think we'll go. Shall we move on to the questions, Doug?
Let's move on.
Okay. If you could only play one course from now on, which would it be and why?
Can we go to number 2?
Yes.
There's so many of them.
Well, we can come back to that if you want time to think about it.
I don't need time. I'll never come up with an answer. There's just
Okay.
far too many. But I think I would choose Pebble Beach because I'm a Californian, and it's the most iconic course in California. But I would like to sneak away and drive down the coast and play Riviera and split time between the two. And if I was fortunate to go overseas, I would probably go to Kingston Heath.
Right, so that's 3 there for the price
know,
of 1 for
I know.
starters, but we'll let you have that.
Thank you.
Okay, now what's your earliest golfing memory?
One of my earliest golfing memories was getting so frustrated with the game, and this speaks to my stupidity actually. I must have been in the 8 or 9 years old, playing with a couple of hooligans in my neighborhood, and getting so frustrated with the way I was striking the ball that I figured I would just pick the ball up and throw it. And I did that a few times when people were looking. It took me 2 holes to realize that even my worst strike was going way farther than as far as I could throw the golf ball. So I learned.
So, who was the biggest golfing influence in your life?
My father, because he played as a kid and played quite well. He was actually high school teammates with Phil Rogers in La Jolla. And so my memory as a kid was every Thursday, my dad's day off, he was always playing golf and then taking a nap. Driving the game would be Nicklaus. I can still remember him winning at Firestone in the PGA in 1975. I was 12 years old, but for some odd reason, of all the 18 majors Jack won, what's now the Honda Classic sticks out at me when Jack birdied the last 5, including a chip in or 2, and he was my guy.
Oh, pretty impressive that, eh? The best player you've ever played with?
Best player well, he's busy today or would play again, but that would most probably be, well, there's 2 of them. Hang on, let me explain.
You never give one answer,
I know,
do
but
you?
I need to explain.
Okay.
Currently, right now, as we speak today, the best player I ever played with was Dustin Johnson. He was on his, I think, 2nd year on tour, and I was in a Pro-Am format to exhibit a golf course in California. My partner was Tom Pernice. Dustin was the other pro in the group. And I drove it past him, I don't know, probably 40 yards on occasion. That was probably my biggest thrill. If you'd like, I could throw in the fact that the tees that we were using were 200 yards up on that one. But
that spoils the story.
The greatest player I've ever played with would be Curtis Strange, but that was only last year, and Curtis hasn't played much lately. And from a broadcasting perspective, I would need to add that on one hole, with a 15-foot birdie putt, I left it 3 feet short and 4 feet out to the right. And Curtis stood there, looking, and finally said, you know, if I were broadcasting right now, I know exactly what I'd say. I'd say, let's go to 17.
Right, one rule to change if you had the power, which would it be?
I like the rules of golf, but if I had to change one, I think, believe it or not, I'm tempted to give you 2 again, but I think the one I would change was frankly out of bounds. It just seems odd to me that you could miss by an inch and have to go back to the tee, and on some courses just hit it miles off ground and only have a stroke penalty depending on how it's marked. I think all courses should be marked red along the perimeter.
Okay.
The other one was going to be the divots, by the way, but only one answer that time.
Yeah, good man. Favorite club in the bag?
1 iron.
All right. Biggest regret in golf?
Say that again, please.
Sorry?
I didn't hear you.
Biggest regret in golf?
Druid Hills in Atlanta. Can't remember the year. But the one thing I have not achieved in this game, outside of winning a major, of course, is playing a round without a bogey. And I came close at Druid Hills outside of Atlanta, made 1 bogey on the day, and it was with a 9-iron in my hand in the middle of the fairway. Total choke job.
Wow. Maybe this is the same answer, most unforgettable golfing moment?
First time I broke par. It was at a place called Mohawk Park in Tulsa. I'd never shot even par for the day, and I came to the last, needing a par, to finally shoot level. And I was almost in a creek because I was so nervous, and I tend to choke. And ball barely stayed in. I lofted a 9-iron that didn't look like it was going to clear the bunker. It just did, and onto the green. And when I got there, I realized, wait a minute, I've got 6 feet for a 3. I could actually break par, and I hold it.
Well done. Now, finally, best format for Olympic golf.
Do you want to know what it is, or do you want to know what it should be?
What it should be, or
should
what
have been,
in your opinion?
In simplest terms, it should have been like the old World Cup, the good World Cup. You would have had stroke play, which is, as much as people say it's boring, it's still the proper way to identify the best player of the week without any frills or quirkiness of match play. Everybody plays their own ball, and if you have 2 players from England or from Spain or from Argentina, then you count those 2 scores for the team score, just like they did at the World Cup. It's that simple, and I don't understand it, why they didn't use it.
Well, Doug Ferguson, thank you very much indeed.
A treat. Thank you.